pain is a pretty cool thing. That's the body's warning system that's basically designed to keep us alive. Because if we didn't feel pain, we would put ourselves in situations that might not end well, and we wouldn't be around. So pain can be helpful. It's a communication tool. Welcome to another episode of the Physician Growth Accelerator, a show where we break down your private medical practice business systems into vitals, give you the tools to diagnose root cause of what may be restricting your growth, and prescribe what to do about it. I'm your host, Ed Williamson, and I believe that everything we experience, everything, is the perfect outcome of our current system. And when we identify that, we understand it, and we want something different, then we just have to realize, hey, let's tweak the system. And this is so important in personal, business. You're in control. And it's really important to me for more people to understand how much control they're actually in. I want to tell a quick story. My son, Elijah, 16, had knee surgery a few weeks back. And pretty major surgery, if you're familiar with those types, depending on your specialty. He had a TTO and an MPFLR and some scoping stuff going on. And a lot of the discussion going into that surgery was, what level of pain, the kind of how he's going to be restricted in the things he can do. And he understood, and he wanted to go through with it because he plays sports and he wanted to get back on the field next year. And we were comfortable with the idea and, him having these things taken care of. So what's interesting is going into surgery can be a little bit frightening for people. And he was told about the pain he would feel. But pain is an interesting thing because it's a bit subjective. I believe that if you did the exact same thing to 10 different people, you'd get 10 different responses related to what that feeling was. And that's because there's different context in every scenario. So one thing I tried with him, knowing that he was going to be going through with this, is just talking to him about what that would feel like and explaining that pain is a pretty cool thing. That's the body's warning system that's basically designed to keep us alive. Because if we didn't feel pain, we would put ourselves in situations that might not end well, and we wouldn't be around. So pain can be helpful. It's a communication tool. And it doesn't have any context. And so one thing I talked to him about over and over again was the idea that he's likely going to feel pain. And the reason is because they're going in and they're doing something very specific that's causing a type of damage, but the type of damage is designed to create a better outcome in the future. And I was explaining to him how his brain doesn't know that, his nervous system doesn't know that, and that it's going to be calling out, hey, there's this thing wrong, you got to pay attention to it. But if he understood that this pain was not a sign that he was in danger, that this pain was purposeful and designed to achieve a specific outcome, and if he could repeat that to himself over and over again, that he would know that this feeling was not necessarily a negative feeling, but it was a feeling that was expected because he chose to do this thing to get the outcome that he's looking for. Now, who knows what the impact compared to me having that conversation with him or not having that conversation would be, because we don't get to do both. But I will say his pain level has been extraordinarily low, constantly reported as 0, high spirits, not in any state of misery whatsoever. Now, a lot of stuff happens in those, 3 procedures. So there was clearly damage to tissue that was purposeful. And I do believe that it probably impacted how he felt about what he felt, kind of defining the context. Now, I bring this up because in business, we deal with teams. And teams are coming to work to achieve things. And sometimes things in our business are not that fun. There's days that are easier. There are days that are harder. And sometimes there's tasks in front of us that we treat as frustrating. And maybe the team treats as frustrating. And what happens is if we leave basically context to nature, nature is designed to go negative. If I hadn't had this conversation with Elijah at all, his brain absolutely is in the right spot yelling at him about this pain because it doesn't know the context. And there is so much study around the neuroscience of the bias that our brains lean towards. They are negativity bias. It's designed for us to learn quickly so that we are avoiding danger. Almost all of our behavior is related to avoiding danger and staying in some state of comfort. The brain is also wired for first order consequences, meaning let's make sure I'm good now. Not too worrying about tomorrow or the day after. But if we can evolve our thinking, then we can give context to everything we experience, and we can think about second and third order consequences. What is this initial thing might be uncomfortable, but is the reason I'm doing this worth it? Many times it is. And so if you witness your team struggling through different tasks, talk to them about what the context of doing this is for. Does it help you, bring relief to patients? Does it help you build a stronger practice so that you can treat more patients? Does it help the team build a system that is overall better for you, for them, and the people you treat? Many times we lose context. And if we leave it to nature, nature wants to go negative. And it's okay to reframe those things for people. Say, hey, when you get frustrated about this task, I want you to be pretty excited because that means we're doing so many of those, and that equals here's this positive outcome. And what you'll see people change how they feel about the things they used to believe were negative. So I know it's a little bit different style episode today, but it really jumped out at me when I witnessed this with Elijah and how he took the pain. And it's really how we run our business. There are things that are going to be annoying. There's going to be days where it's frustrating that you're going to deal with stuff that if you had a choice, you wouldn't want to. But if we can understand the context around those tasks and understand the second and third order consequences, we can actually get pretty excited about doing the things that are a bit of a struggle. So I hope that was helpful. If you're ever feeling struggle within your practice, you feel like you've hit some kind of ceiling, maybe you're witnessing a drop of income even though you're working harder, you're getting more impacted by the reduction of reimbursements or the increased costs of running the practice, go to physiciangrowthaccelerator.com and check your vitals. It'll help you identify where you might be feeling the most constraint and what to first attack to tweak your system so that you like the result you're getting. And with that, we'll see you next time on the Physician Growth Accelerator.